Retired Army General Shawn Harris is the Democrat running to represent Georgia's 14th district. He joins us this morning on Sunrise. Shawn, thank you so much for being here. Give us your elevator pitch to those voters in the 14th district there in Georgia.
Well, hey, the first thing I want to say is thank y'all guys for letting me be on your show. At the end of the day, yes, I ran against Margie last time. This time, I'm actually running against 16, 17 Republicans currently as of today. The elevator speech is very simple. Marjorie Taylor Greene has not done anything for you. Shawn Harris is a real leader. Give me an opportunity. Leadership matters because guess what? At the end of the day, Northwest Georgia needs a leader that's actually going to listen to the people and at the same time get things done. It's all about results. And I look forward to having a great conversation with y'all guys this morning. I was listening to the earlier episode. ICE has been actually trying to recruit me. So that's kind of crazy. I want to go to Washington, D.C., but I don't want to work for ICE.
Wait, is that really true? They've actually recruited you?
Yes, I get emails from ICE all the time, even on my LinkedIn. It says, hey, Shawn, you got the right profile based on being in the military for so long. We want you to come into leadership, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah, we should say you served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we'll get to that in a little while. But let's talk about the Cook Political Report, which rates your district plus 19 for Republicans. How can you get enough Republican support and get over the top here?
Well, you know, the way we actually doing it is right now we have the Democrats are very excited. That's the enthusiasm is out the roof. Independents are supporting me. And then the other piece that are supporting me is what we call Ronald Reagan Republicans. Republicans that are willing to reach across the aisle. And that is what's actually pushing us over the top. Many people don't actually know. When I got out of the military, I was not going to run for Congress or anything. I was just going to be here on the farm as a cattle farmer. It was the Republicans that actually came to me and actually asked me to run. And then when I told them that I was a Democrat, I thought they would leave me alone. The reality of it was that they said, no, Shawn, we still want you to run and we're still going to support you. So to answer your question, the way I'm going to win this election is Democrats, independents, and Ronald Reagan Republicans. We're all coming together because right now it's very clear what Donald Trump is doing. What Marjorie Taylor Greene did, it was not working. And the people in Northwest Georgia clearly understand that Marjorie Taylor Greene quit on them because she's not in D.C. doing her job right now and never going back to D.C. And I'll be replacing her here in March.
Well, Shawn, to hear Marjorie Taylor Greene tell it these days, the Republicans are failing the American people in her district. She talks about health care being unaffordable. She talks about the affordability crisis. She also talks about the Epstein files and wanting accountability there. With that seat being R plus 19, do you somewhat take that message from Marjorie Taylor Greene to the voters there in Georgia and say, look, the woman who just represented you says that the Republican Party is failing you, vote for me? Or do you take a completely different tact and just talk about what Democrats want to do for the state?
No, I don't have to take that, Corey. The reality is Marjorie Taylor Greene took my talking points. These have always been my talking points. It's just in her last few days of being up in Congress is that she realized that everything that she had been pushing for 5 years was not the reality. So Shawn Harris has been consistent from the last race to this race that health care is completely out of control. Affordability is an issue. Our farmers cannot make it across the board when it comes to health care. Our hospitals are failing. So guess what? Marjorie Taylor Greene has decided to agree with Shawn Harris. And I would not be surprised, Corey, is that, hey, you never can tell. We're in the twilight zone. Marjorie Taylor Greene might actually end up endorsing me because I'm more aligned with what she's been saying versus those 17, 18 Republicans that I'm actually running against. Let me just tell you this. Yes, I'm the only Democrat in the race, but I can say this for a fact. Shawn Harris is a Democrat, but I'm not tied to a party. I'm going to do what's best for the people here in Northwest Georgia. I guarantee you the 17, 18 Republicans that I'm running against, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is that they are Trump first. When you hear somebody say Trump first, what you're basically saying is that the people here in Northwest Georgia don't count. So that's where I'm at. Marjorie Taylor Greene and I agree on a few subjects, not many, but the reality of it is Marjorie Taylor Greene has taken my talking points. And hey, here in Northwest Georgia, you never can tell. Marjorie Taylor Greene may say Shawn Harris is the best person to represent Northwest Georgia here in the next few days.
Do you plan to ask her for an endorsement?
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, as a retired general, I work across the spectrum, across the board. Marjorie is now planning her wedding. With congratulations to her. I plan to reach out to her and say, "Hey, Marjorie, when you look at the field out here, I think based on your talking points, I am the best candidate. And if you truly believe and care about the people of West Georgia, then Marjorie, you should support me because guess what? The Republican Party that you were talking about, or Mega that you was talking about, has completely turned on you. And we'll see what she does. At the end of the day, if she does it, great. If she don't, that's fine. But the reality of it is the Republican Party is in a civil war, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is right in the middle of that civil war. And I'm going to stay out of that and stay focused on the people here in Northwest Georgia.
When you talk about the Republicans and their priorities and where you think they've gone wrong, you are a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. You've said Congress isn't doing its job, particularly on oversight. You can't stand the conduct of the Secretary of Defense. You're not for what's happening off the coast of Venezuela and now in Venezuela. So, what have you learned about the parameters of war and oversight in your time overseas serving vis-a-vis what's happening in Venezuela?
Well, I would tell you, ma'am, as a retired general officer, many a times I've actually had to come back into D.C. or leaders from D.C. came to visit me to different places around the world, specifically in the Middle East, to discuss exactly what we were doing on the ground and why, because they were exercising their role as oversight. Right now, this particular Congress has completely abandoned that, and right now we are completely off the rails. And our Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, whatever he wants to call himself, is completely he can't handle the job. And like I've said in the past, I don't think we have the right person in the chair because too many things are actually starting to happen that we are not following our own procedures. The world is watching. When it comes down to the Caribbean, when you talk about Venezuela, you also got to think about China. You also got to think about Russia. So the things that we're doing on the ground, we need Congress to do their job, pull in the senior leadership from the Pentagon, and ask the hard questions. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? And at the end of the day, we should have learned from other wars that I participated in. If we get in a war, first of all, are we in a war? Second of all, if we get in this war, what is the end state? And at this point, nobody has told the American people that. And I'm speaking directly to Congress saying, stand up, do your job, and actually hold people accountable so that the American people and our sons and daughters understand what they're about to get into.
All right, we'll have to leave it there on this Friday morning. Shawn Harris, the Democratic candidate running to represent Georgia's 14th district. Shawn, good luck out there on the campaign trail, and I'm sure we'll be speaking with you more as the year rolls on and we get to the midterms.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.